A few days before the end of the semester, my students and their families gave me this game. It's a really fun game. It's called Readerly Games Room Pop Music Quiz. And I tried it out with a bunch of friends. We really had fun, but there's a lot of questions that I didn't know how to answer as well. And therefore, it encourages me to go and do some personal research. And the first one that I'm going to attempt to do in this super short video it's called Runaway Train by Asylum. Now, if you haven't heard of this song before, go to YouTube right now and listen to it before you continue this video, because you will have no idea what I'm about to talk about if you haven't listened to the video yet. Without further ado, let's continue. Just a bit of a background of this story, of this music that we're about to listen to. It is really famous. It was so famous that I have heard of it as well. I just didn't know it was called Runaway Train. If you have not heard of it, you will definitely find somebody else who had heard of this music. As you can see, it has earned a lot of awards in the US and the UK and even Canada. This is the track that made their album, the sixth album, Grave Dancers Union, become world famous. Let's go into the music, which is the Runaway Train. I want to get into the details of it, but today we're focusing on is pop music structure. Okay, and before one thing I forgot to mention about the musical style of this piece of music is power ballad, which is generally a very emotional music. It sings the heart out. So usually it talks about love and relationship, but sometimes, and in this case, it didn't talk about relationships and love. It talked about something that is still emotionally powerful and emotionally important to the band, which is about lost children, i.e. like literally lost. They are not lost as in they didn't know what they want to do in life. They are missing, physically missing from the world. Nobody found them. Pop music is arranged in sections. This is so that people, or rather the audiences, can listen to it in a more logical way. Not many people like to listen to things without structure. It gets very messy quickly, and it is more of a headache rather than an enjoyment. So most pop music, which is made for the masses, is usually created in structures where people can actually listen to it very easily without having to study it. So the typical structure of a pop music goes like this. It goes intro, followed by verse 1, chorus, verse 2, chorus, bridge, and finally the outro. In this case, this music fades out into nothingness. Now, how do we know each section? Each section is defined by two things: either the chord that they use or the lyrics that they use. Okay? So in the intro, there's only chords, no lyrics. Verse 1, you have different lyrics as opposed to chorus. And then you have verse 2, which is somewhat in the same style as verse 1, but different lyrics. That's why we call it verse 2. And then chorus again, which is exactly the same. The chorus is the catchiest part of any pop music. Okay, when you go to Spotify and you listen, or if you go to any online music store and you want to listen to a sample of the music before you're about to purchase it or before you're about to buy it, right? They usually let you listen to the chorus, because the chorus is the catchiest part. Everybody would recognize it. For example, Oppan Gangnam Style, or stuff like this. That's the chorus. And then the bridge is an extended part of the music before it goes into the outro. Okay, now let's look deeper into each section and what makes them define into several sections. Okay, now each section is defined by the chords they use or the lyrics that's used. Okay, so in the intro and the chorus, they use the same thing, the verse as well, but we'll get into that later on. The intro and the chorus use the same four chords over and over again. That is C major, E minor, A minor, and G major. Okay, let's not get into details about how the chords were created or how the chords are related to each other or what the symbols means on the screen. We can talk about that next time. Right now, I just want to talk about the structure of the music. Okay, Just know that these are the 4 chords they used in the intro and the chorus. Now, we look at the verse now, because the verse is something, there's something interesting about the verse. And if you have heard of the song already, you understand what I mean. If you haven't, this is really your last chance. Go onto YouTube and look for Runaway Train by Soul Asylum. You have to listen to the music before you know what I'm talking about. This is the analysis of that song. Without knowing what the song is, you have no idea what I'm talking about. The verse. The first half of the verse starts with the same chords as the one that you hear in the intro and the outro. However, at the second half of it though, the chords change. If you look at the screen, starting from the second bar, it's completely different, isn't it? It's completely different from C, E minor, A minor, and G. It starts off with F, G, C, A minor, F major, E minor, and then ends with a G major, and then it goes into the chorus. This is completely different from the first half of the verse. Now, in music, we do call this phenomenon, this thing that's different from the actual verse, as the pre-chorus. In the verse, before it leads into the chorus, there's this section called the pre-chorus. It's about 2 or 4 lines, and it leads directly into the chorus. So in between the verse and the chorus, you have a pre-chorus. Some songs have that, some songs don't. Okay, in this case, however, it does feel like it may contain a pre-chorus. There is 2 things that we must remember to determine whether this is a pre-chorus or not. First, that it is the 2 or 4 line section that is different from the verse. Okay, it has to be different, or else it's just called a verse. Either by the use of chords or by the use of lyrics. Now the second thing is it must be just before the chorus. If it's not before the chorus, it's not a pre-chorus. That's the whole idea of a pre-chorus. Pre means before, and chorus, so it's just before the chorus. So let's take a look. The first half of the song uses the same chord as the other sections, except that they use different lyrics. No problem about that. First thing, is it 2 bars long? If we look at bar 2 and bar 3, yes, that's just 2 bars. So is the chord different from the first bar? Yes, it is different. Okay, the first bar starts with C major, E minor, A minor, G major, but the second chord, the second bar starts with F major instead. Immediately that's different. Okay, F major, G major, C major, the rest is different from the first half of the verse. So is it a pre-chorus? I believe so. I believe this is a pre-chorus. So therefore, we can rewrite the sections and re-illustrate the sections of this song into something like this. First, you have the intro that uses the same 4 chords as any other parts of the song except for the pre-chorus, followed by verse 1. The singer sings and tries to convey the message inside the music, followed by the pre-chorus, which leads into the chorus. The pre-chorus is the chorus used in the pre-chorus is different from the verse and the chorus. It leads to the chorus, followed by verse 2 again, and that leads to the pre-chorus that uses the same chords as pre-chorus 1, but different chords from verse and chorus. And then it leads to chorus, bridge, and outro. I hope what I've said just made sense, and I thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions, just write it down in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching again.